is what we had around our propeller. So we have lost our rudder. So Robert is claiming that he didn't drink anything.
Ja sam nic nie pil.
But I don't know, look at the track.
Ons bitte Schlussmeister, ons bitte Schlussmeister. Das ist Segelboot Polly.
Arriving to Dryland! Woohoo! Woohoo! Yes!
Okay guys, so things are looking good. We're just at the mouth of English Channel. This is southwestern UK. This here is France, English Channel. As we go down in time, we're gonna have some winds all the way to Beam Reach for a moment, but then eventually it backs off to basically downwind right here. We're still gonna have up and down a little bit between 10 and 20 to 25 knots sometimes. Then eventually, once we clear the English Channel and go into the North Sea, then we might have a little bit of good wind from that low here, supposedly gusting to 38, about 28 gusting to 38. So that's the beginning, but it's all behind us, it's all downwind, so it's not bad at all. And then just a mix of all sorts of winds, but all in all, basically downwind or beam reach. The wind unfortunately dies down for a little bit, but then eventually it shows up, and it's not bad because it should stay with us all the way across the Baltic Sea, north of Bornholm, all the way to Gdańsk.
When we did the last refit in Poland in 2015, the point that I stressed the most was to make sure the rudder is designed and built in such a way that it's literally indestructible. I was convinced. I thought about just about every option possible, the way it could break. Well, I have never thought it could twist off its own shaft and end up still spinning around its own axis. That's exactly what happened today.
So we have lost our rudder. Our rudder is freely twisting around its axis. Right now we're only sailing because we balance the sails and we're basically steering with the sails, but it's very inaccurate. So in order to make it to the safe port, we have to jury rig some sort of rudder. So right now the idea is to tie up the line on the rudder foil underwater and lead basically a steering lines around to the steering wheel. We'll see if that works. We'll figure it out.
So I took a quick stock of the situation, decided that we are 20 miles from the British shore, another 20 miles from shipping lanes, and about 4 hours from sunset, and about 4 hours from another strong wind. So we have some space. There's no reason to panic. We have time to think it over and figure out the best option possible in this situation. So we brewed a fresh coffee, sat down, talked about it for about half an hour, and including everyone's suggestions, we figured out that we're gonna make a new steering device out of a set of blocks, ropes, especially the carbon rope, and tie it off to the existing rudder blade, which is exactly what we did.
So since we have a broken steering, we have doubled up on the watches. Now we're gonna have basically 2-hour watches, but always with someone else. One's gonna be, we're gonna keep switching. One's gonna be steering and one's gonna be assisting. And we have 90 miles to Cherbourg, which is fortunately or unfortunately the place where I stopped on the Transat in 2014, because back then we had a broken propeller. So The good news is that I know the place, and it's got a ramp where we can pull up at high water and basically beach the boat at low water and make repairs at low water. Hopefully we can do that. So we'll see. We have a welding machine, we have materials, so hopefully we can weld into the rudder stock and make a decent repair so that we can make it to Poland where we can lift the boat and actually do it proper. So we'll see. I'm going to consult Jefa and the designer that did the actual foil, but all the mechanical stuff and all the skeleton and the rudder stock and all that is made by Jefa. It was specially designed for this boat. And it was supposed to withstand 30 knots and not just untwist like that. So we'll see. You know, I kind of have some idea of how I want to do it, but I don't know if I can weld into a titanium alloy with what I have. So we'll see.
We have special human power steering.
Late night Saturday. Guys are taking turns hand steering the boat through the jury rig that we came up with steering ropes. In the meantime, I'm sitting here with Jan studying the technical drawings for the rudder that was designed by Jefa 6 years ago. My suspicions are basically confirmed that these 3 tabs that are welded into the rudder stock must have basically unwelded themselves and broken off, because the rudder blade is spinning freely around the rudder stock. I still have absolutely no idea why it hasn't separated completely and fallen into the deep ocean, but I'm quite happy that it didn't. So we have now we have a blade to work with, and I'm hoping to be able to basically dig into the laminate and re-weld it and make it that way to Poland, but we'll see what happens. Guys, so this isn't easy, because not only we're steering with cables right now, with ropes that we put on the rudder blade, but obviously we cannot go fast because we don't want to mess it up. So we're going at about 4 knots, which means we're not very able to escape from under the threat of ships coming over. And if you look at it, this is English Channel, entrance to the English Channel. It's probably one of the most traveled maritime routes in the world. So all these markers here are ships that are just passing by, not very far from us. What can I tell you? And this is what you're looking at right now is basically England here, Great Britain, France, Guernsey, and this is the entrance to the English Channel, and this is the shipping lane basically.
Zasięg mamy.
Cell phones in range. I can see land. This is a weird feeling after 3 weeks at sea. Too bad we have a handicapped ship, but like Jacek just said, that we're quite efficient even with being handicapped, and so are we. We are, let's see, 20 miles from mainland France. 20 miles from mainland France. We're here. There's France, and there's Cherbourg over here, which is where we're heading to fix our rudder. And we're doing 7 knots on just the Genie and our poor rudder. So this is the tidal currents that we're facing here. This is the current one. This is in 1 hour. This is in 2 hours. And that's 6 knots over here. So we're trying to actually go this way, because this is only 3 knots around here. Only. And then this is noon, 1, 2 p.m. and by 3 p.m. we actually get reverse. So that's the situation. So Robert is claiming that he didn't drink anything.
Ja sam nic nie pił.
But I don't know, look at the track. Check it out.
It's just coffee.
It was just coffee, okay.
Arriving to Thailand!
Cheers!
Cherbourg Marina. This is Trimaran Holy. So we're filling up with diesel in order not to risk moving around the marina at this high wind. We just decided to basically take our jerry cans and keep traveling back and forth to the gas station with this trolley here, and things are going well. Robert is filling up with water and our steering machine is all set, working. There you go, it's all set up, calibrated, tested, should be good. Okay, so this is it. Just extra gas and off we go. Oh, some more shopping. We decided also to go through Kiel Canal. Kiel Canal is a big shortcut instead of going through Danish Straits from the North Sea into the Baltic Sea. We're gonna shave probably about 300 miles. Alright, we left. We fixed the rudder, it's working really nice with our little crazy setup. And now the name of the game is to shoot for the right current at Dover, in the most narrow spot of English Channel. So let me show you what's going on here. We left Cherbourg right here. Now we're just going to round this little mark here and then turn right a little bit more. And let me switch to our Mac. I will show you predict wind for the currents. So here we are, and the key is to maintain at least 6 knots, 5-6 knots, so that we end up in less than 24 hours in the narrowest spot here. Because if you see, this is the very conservative forecast of how we're going to move. We're going to try to move faster. The faster we move, the more current we have. All this green and red and all that is pushing us forward. What we don't want is end up here when it's going this way. So that's the key. And for the moment, things are really nice because we timed it so that the current is helping us right now. So if you look at this, we have a nice strong current pushing us over to the Dover all the way until 11 p.m.
I was hoping that May in the Atlantic would have been a bit kinder, given that we have France to our right and UK to the left. We're in the English Channel, and I was hoping it's going to be a little milder. But right now it's 10 degrees, it's raining and it's windy, and yeah, it's not exactly where. But the good news is our steering is doing really well. There we go, and it's happy over there.
Hey guys, so we're on the way, and the steering is working well. Now the trick was to get across the English Channel or along the English Channel at the right timing so that we can catch the right currents. So if you look here, this is winds currently, so the winds are very favorable. They're broad reaching, but this is where the trick is. If you look at the ocean data and tidal streams, you see this is the last moment when we were about to catch the favoring current. So this is absolutely perfect because by the time it ends and it starts backtracking, we'll be out of this narrowest point. So right now we're in between France and UK at the closest point where Eurotunnel was right underneath us between Calais and Dover. So it's pretty cool. I'll show you in a moment. So these are the famous Dover cliffs, white Dover cliffs. So we see UK on this side, and now if we go back, turn around, there's France. If you look on the map, check it out. This is between Calais and Dover. Check out the number of wrecks over here. I'm assuming it's all after World War II. So maybe the breaking the rudder and going to Cherbourg was actually worth it. Check it out. What kind of goodies we got now. Ice cream and chocolate dessert. And yeah, and we're passing Dover and Calais, which is the narrowest point of English Channel right now. So it's really cool. But yeah, this is a nice payback for the scary part about breaking the rudder, and then for last night, which was the real hardcore sailing, because now we're hand steering all the way to Poland. And last night was like drizzling, 25 knots of wind, and just wet, cold, 10 degrees Celsius. Man, I'm still adjusting from 5 years in the Caribbean, so please give me a break. Being between Calais and Dover, in the narrowest spot in the English Channel, has got a lot of things going. Because first of all, you got all the traffic going on. All these triangles are ships, and you can see actually that the nearest one being right there. There you go. Then if you go back here, this is the guy. I'm gonna blow it up. There you go. And you can see all the details. You see passenger ship going 20 knots, almost 200 meters long, blah blah blah, all this information, really cool. And if you look here, those are the shipping lanes. So there's lots of traffic here because we've got the ferries going between France and UK, basically from here, from Calais to Dover, and you can actually see that paths, right? Then we have the traffic lanes for the shipping, for the cargo ships, and they're going to the north-east on the eastern side of the channel, and on the western side they're going to the southwest. And as you see, there's plenty of targets here showing as well. So there's a lot going on, and on top of that, there are currents, which I already talked about, so you gotta watch those. Right now we're on the back end of the current that's helping us to get out of here. So today for Wake Up is another diving expedition to take the net out of the propeller, so another 12 degrees Celsius water diving expedition.
Wow! Mamy całą boję rybacką na tym, na śrubie. Boję? No!
Znowu spadła!
This is what we had around our propeller. Probably like 10 times around. I had to actually use a hand saw, to cut it off. I couldn't do it with a knife. The prop has a variable pitch on the blades, so that was locked as well because because all this crap was actually wrapped around the blades as well, not just around the actual axle, but around the prop as well. And we actually did an inspection of our new steering system, and it's perfect. There is no problems whatsoever. And I inspected the blade for any cracks or problems. Nope, everything's good. So we can keep going.
Looks like somebody is having a medical emergency because there's somebody being airlifted from the ship over there.
So this is kind of funny because we kind of, out of being lazy, left our French flag under the right spreader. Here's the custom at sea. You have a flag of a country that you're visiting, that's hosting you, under the right spreader. You can't see it very well right now, but that's a French flag. We are about to change to a German flag. Apparently the Germans are very touchy about not having that flag under the right spreader if you're a guest in their country, so we're not going to mess with that. So here it is, check it out. So now we're very well behaved. We have the German flag under the right spreader. Things are good. So we were in St. Martin, which again, it's a small island that actually has two halves. It's a former Dutch, which is still inside of sort of a dependent territory of Amsterdam. And the other side is fully blown French with an EU status, so we technically never left the EU. That's kind of funny. Short of the fact that we were in St. Bart's a few weeks earlier. And St. Bart's actually voted itself out of the European Union in 2012, apparently in a referendum. So that's the only way we were outside of EU within the last few months. So yeah, so we left St. Martin and we had the French flag under the right spreader because of because that was our hosting country, right? And you know, and then when we twisted off the rudder, we ended up in Cherbourg with a French flag.
Brons bitte Schlussmeister, Brons bitte Schlussmeister, das ist Segelboot Polly. Ja, Segelboot Polly. Guten Morgen, wir sind ungefähr 1 Kilometer entfernt von dem Schluss. An welcher Uhr können wir zutreten? 1:60. Ja, die kleine Schlüsse und wir gehen an die östliche Seite, ja? Und um welche Uhr ist das geöffnet?
Na, ungefähr 15 Minuten.
Ah, perfekt, dankeschön. So, we are in Brunsbüttel, which is in the Elbe River, and we are just at the entrance of the canal that leads to the Baltic Sea. Right there. Let me see if I can show it to you. Yeah, so it's open in 15 minutes, so we're gonna try to go to be able to get in there, because we have to go for a walk.
So we just talked to the Schlussmeister, which is the man who operates the lock, and we got roughly like 15 minutes to get into the lock, and then we're on the way to the Baltic Sea. And it's a bit stressful because it's we got a lot of current, and so we're barely moving, and we got all these big ships coming in at the same time. Man, I think we're gonna make it. We're in the lock. They're closing right now. You'll see the gate behind me. They're closing right now. And the canal right here. And there's the gate that's gonna open. And here we have a docking system that can take the difference in levels. So when the whole boat goes up, we can as well go up and not lose the docking. And there's one last boat coming in right now, right here. And I think they're going to be closing the lock momentarily. Bartek is leaving us. He decided to ditch the crew for a tantric workshop. Damn it! Ciao bambina.
Ciao, Barteczku.
Thank you.
Journey.
Oh, amazing journey you're gonna have next week.
Wow.
You'll see. This is the signal that the gate is opening. Słuchajcie, dopłynęliśmy na Bałtyk, jesteśmy na Bałtyku oficjalnie. O, proszę, jest Polska, znalazła się.
Boys, Daddy is here!
Os segredos vêm da floresta de luz, Pachamama, Pachamama. Abre a consciência dos seus filhos a crescer.